You're listening to Brainwork Framework, a business and marketing podcast, brought to you by focus-biz.com. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. My name is Adam.
And I'm Chris.
And we're going to talk about pay-per-click ads. So not pay-per-clip ads, pay-per-click ads. Chris, what is a pay-per-click ad?
That is generally some form of advertising where you're only paying when you actually get a click, or per 1,000 impressions, which is called a milli.
A milli?
A milli, yes.
Oh. That sounds like some code word for a bag of drugs or something.
Yeah. Hey, yo, let me get a milli.
Let me get a milli. But that's not what it is.
No,
it's 1,000 impressions.
Right. And it's most common for Google search ads.
Right.
I think that's what a lot of people refer to PPC advertising as. And it's a great way to connect with your target market for people who are looking for information or looking to make a purchase after they have weighed all their options. Now they're looking to make a purchase. So it's a great way to actually get people converting into sales, into customers.
So is that like a bike shop is doing pay-per-click ads and I'm only going to see their ad if I go on Google and type in bike shops near me kind of thing?
You won't be the only person to have your ad shown. Google will place 2 to 4 advertisers for a given search term for that. Now, it doesn't matter how much budget you have or how much money you're spending into your advertisement. Your placement is going to depend on your quality score and your conversion rate. Google is going to prefer to show advertising that is quality. Sure. They want people clicking through on it. So one very important aspect is making sure that you have a high quality ad. It's getting in front of the right people, and Google will reward you for that.
So you're saying basically if you have a good ad and you pay Google to spread it out to people, if you convert on that, people buy your shit through that ad, Google rewards you then by putting that ad in more spaces.
In more spaces higher up, yes.
Sure.
So you can get increased visibility.
Sure. What would you say it's more mobile oriented nowadays, or is it just kind of everywhere? Or is, I guess I'm asking, is there a difference for pay-per-click ads on mobile or desktop kind of things?
So generally it started out as a big desktop advertising platform. That's where a majority of people would search for solutions to their problem. Nowadays, with Google moving over to mobile-first indexing, not only for websites, that started mid-2019, but Google recognized how popular mobile was becoming for everyday use.
Yeah.
So they started to put the focus on that. So with Google Ads, you do have the option of determining your placement. Do you want to be shown on third-party sites? Do you want to be shown on mobile? Do you want to be shown on desktop? A little bit of both.
Sure.
And I think that can really benefit you to know if your users are coming from mobile, are they researching for that solution there, and are they converting there? Because you may need to make some improvements based on your mobile landing page, your desktop landing page, in order to actually get that conversion.
Do you think there'd be a difference between the results from a pay-per-click ad from a company that sells things or a service provider? I get like a commercial cleaning service or something. Do you think they might have a better pay-per-click results versus a place that sells vacuums to commercial cleaner companies?
I just want to make sure that I understand your question correctly. I think at the end of the day, what you're trying to do and what Google wants to do is match the user's search intent, correct? Mm-hmm. So when you're searching for a term, are you looking for a house cleaner or are you looking for general house cleaners?
Right.
Like products that you would use.
Right, I see.
So I think it's more about matching the search intent. And I think that comes down to what keywords are you trying to place for and adding in your negative keywords to make sure you're not showing up. Yeah. Or if someone's searching for great household cleaners, well, do you mean a company or do you mean a product?
Right.
And I think that's an important variation.
Yeah.
Is matching the search intent. So that's going to come down to your keywords.
I see. So it really depends on the quality of the ad.
It's the quality of ad and search intent.
Okay. I can definitely speak to how important negative keywords are. Mm-hmm. Because in an industry like insurance, there's a million different kinds of insurance. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have your keywords correct, then you're going to be getting calls that have nothing to do with you, which happened to me earlier this year. And it was really crappy because you get charged per click, per call. You get charged for all of that stuff. And if it's not what you're trying to do, you're not, wrong people are calling you, you're spending money on something that's not helping.
Right. So for a user to use the search term progressive insurance, what is their intent there? Are they looking to get a new quote and they just heard that Progressive was the cheapest, so that's why they're searching for that brand? Or Progressive Insurance, are they trying to call the customer service number? And I think that was the issue that you were running into.
Yeah.
Specifically with Google Ads, you have 3 different options for your keywords. You have broad match, phrase match, and exact match.
Sure.
So your broad match is going to include any of the single words you put within your keyword. So buy auto insurance, you would show up in anything that's buy, anything that's auto, or anything that's insurance. That's your broad match. Phrase match, you're going to have a couple keywords together. Exact, you have to have that exact phrase together. So that can be a great way to actually refine your strategy, your keywords, making sure that you're showing up for the correct search intent. Because you don't want to be paying for leads that aren't really leads. Someone calls
leads.
you looking for
and that's what
the
happened.
1-800 number.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. People were calling, trying to get customer service for these companies and carriers. Some of them I do represent, so it kind of made sense as to how they got to me, but that just meant that my ad wasn't good enough. The quality of the keywords weren't correct to filter out the people I don't want calling me.
Right. You can have a great ad all day, but if you're not finding the right keywords to show up in certain results, well, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to have a specialist, a person that is Google certified like yourself.
Thank you.
And somebody who knows really what they're doing, because my mistake cost me almost $1,000.
Ouch.
And that was just me. Well, I didn't know the ad was actually going live. I was just kind of fucking around with the new target, trying to just create a new audience essentially for an ad. And that started an ad basically, and it had all the keywords in it because I was playing around with it, but I didn't mean to actually publish the ad. But it did, and I didn't know that. But my phone starts ringing, and I'm getting a lot of calls, but it's not for me. It's not for new auto insurance or home insurance. It's people trying to reach Allstate or AAA. People from Canada were calling me for about some. I'm just like, what? Michigan people were calling me, and it was just like, okay, definitely have my area of the world specified,
Yeah.
But it was terrible, and it cost me a lot of money, and it's so important to not guess with that stuff, because it's just gonna come out of your bank account, and you're not going to get anything for it, and it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really sucks.
Lesson learned.
Definitely lesson learned. It's a regret. I absolutely regret doing that, but I learned from the mistake, moved on, and now my choice of marketing and advertising is just sharing social media stuff and then networking in person and virtually, I guess, which is working better for me than pay-per-click ads have been and stuff. And I feel like a company like State Farm or Allstate, the big names that you know of, they probably get a little bit more traction with that stuff because they have the whole corporation behind them pumping out money into PPC ads, into SEO optimization, stuff like that.
Right. And generally those captive agents, they charge more in the premium. So they have a lot more wiggle room within their advertising budget.
Yeah. And a lot of times they buy a book of business, so guaranteed 80 grand a year or something like that. So they have a little bit more money to work with. So I get that. I
think something that we learned along the way of really refining your target market and what message is delivered to that audience. Because when we first set up PPC ads for you, the ad copy, the words behind it were all about auto and home insurance and comparing rates. But then when we chose our target market, we had gone for mortgage, real estate, lender focused people, or had those characteristics. So the ad copy did not match the target market. They were conflicting. What we needed to do was separate those into 2 ads and create ad copy specific for brokers, real estate agents, lenders, and then your auto home insurance can be to other people, just a different target market. So that's really important there to have the ad match the target market, and then beyond that, your landing page experience.
Right.
Don't just send them to a generic homepage if the ad is specific to auto insurance. You're going to want a landing page that's specific to auto insurance, and you want to make it easy for the next step conversion. You're going to want a form listed on that landing page, some sort of actionable next step that you want them to take, whether it's a phone call, an email. Make it easy for them. Don't make them think, and don't make them search your website.
Right.
Send them to the exact page.
Right.
And that will increase your conversions.
Yeah, have the link go from whatever they're clicking, go directly to what you promised them on the ad, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you saw an ad for a specific sweater, and then all of a sudden you're on their main sweaters page, it's like, I was looking for that specific one. You showed it to me. Now I have to look for it. Don't do that.
And I have done that. I have clicked on an ad because I'm like, oh, I want that specific thing. And then it goes to like the home page of that website or something. Like, well, this was stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to make me work?
Well, I just thought it was like a one-way, zoom there.
Right. Show me the thing I wanted. Give me that thing.
Yeah. But that's all right. Not everybody's perfect, but that's why it's good to know somebody who knows what they're doing. I mean, I'm not an expert in marketing whatsoever, which is why I don't do it that often. I have help. So next on the pay-per-click topic, what is call tracking?
Call tracking is something that you set up within a Google ad, where Google will basically put like a placeholder phone number for you that is going to ring your business line, but it's going to let you know this is a call from Google Ads. So it lets you track a little bit better as far as, is this just a normal phone call? Did someone just see me online or social media? Or was this someone who physically clicked on this ad or the call now button? So you can better track, is my ad working? Is it not? So that's what call tracking is within Google. So it has a nice little insight tab where you can see how many clicks to website, how many requests for directions, how many calls did you get?
So webfx.com is saying you could have the best SEO strategy on the planet and pay clicks will still heavily outnumber your organic click. So basically it's saying that using Google Ads is going to be your better option no matter how good your SEO strategy is.
Right. And I think what they're putting into account here is the fact that now Google Ads take up the top 1 to 5 positions of any search that you make. And that's different from where it was 3 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, because before you would have maybe 1 to 3 organic rankings, and that is going to be your highest traffic. But when you now have to pay in order to get that top placement, well, now your 1 to 3 position is now between 4 and 6.
Oh.
And that can dramatically change how much traffic you're going to get from that. I think another beneficial tool of PPC advertising is remarketing. Are you familiar with any remarketing?
I know you've explained it to me before.
Sure. But maybe for all the people who haven't heard it before, why don't you tell me what you think that means? It's this way.
People that click on it but don't buy it, you can gather their information and resend the ads to them, right?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very important when it comes to any advertising campaign, is that follow-up, that remarketing to them. Because as we discussed in previous episodes, it's the brand recognition, that brand awareness, that you need to be seen up to 15 times for people to recognize you.
Right.
And sometimes we just need that gentle nudge, that reminder, hey, you were looking for this, you were interested in it, here it is again. And what's nice about remarketing is you can either match it to the search intent again, or you'll be searching something totally different and you'll see an ad for something else.
Yeah.
You're going to see that remarketing ad. Just a great way to remind them, next steps, here you go. You're going to increase your conversions. And I think it's really, really important to remarket.
Is that something that a Google ad would do automatically? Or if they click on it and there's no conversion, Google automatically sends them stuff? Or is that something that you have to additionally do?
No, you do have to set up a remarketing campaign.
Oh, I see. So it's like an entirely new ad attached to the original one.
Right.
This thing says roughly half of web users can't tell the difference between paid and organic search results. I think that's crazy. I mean, it's very obvious, right? It says ad right there.
Right. Sponsored ad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I see that a lot on Facebook. Some random post or something, and then I always look towards the name because right underneath it says sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
And I always look. I'm like, okay, is this something Facebook thinks I would like, or is this something I actually like?
Yep.
Generally, it's just something Facebook thinks I would like.
Mm-hmm.
Or they do that bullshit thing where they'll show you an ad like, this is how your ad could look.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, go away.
Yeah. Facebook is really struggling right now after the Apple privacy updates.
Sure.
They lost billions in revenue. Google just announced they're going to be doing the same privacy
Good.
direction, and that's fantastic to see.
Yeah, it is. It is. Your personal information isn't just up for grabs now by anybody who wants it. Now they have to really pay Google for it.
Right. Hold it hostage.
Yeah, and that's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. They're not protecting us. They're just holding our shit more hostage so that they can get a higher bid on it.
Yep. And that's why Facebook sends you those little reminders. That's why over the years, back in 2010 to 2015, making a Facebook page was a great idea because you can connect with people. It's free, organic visibility where you could reach 50 to 80% of your entire audience.
Right.
Now, they're only going to send that post to maybe a fifth or a sixth of your total market, forcing you to now pay Facebook
Right. Yeah.
to do that. And it's tech companies do this all the time, whether it's Facebook or Google.
Sure.
Google, for the last 5 years, they were promoting to websites, you really want to make this SEO friendly, give us really good content, reasons for people to go to your website and all this stuff. Then, once you put all that information out there and did all the legwork into data or anything, now Google's taking that information and taking it for themselves and now holding your website hostage with now these new featured snippets or they're basically giving users a reason not to go to your website now. And they're taking over those organic positions. So before Google My Business, that was a position 4 through 6 sort of thing. You would see maybe 2 ads, organic results, and then a paid placement for Google My Business. Now, Google My Business is now the top placement. So it's interesting to see Google making us put in all the hard work on the front end.
Right.
And then just like Facebook, they're going to take over and push you to the side once they don't need you anymore.
Yeah, once they have all your information, and if you're not going to subscribe, pay to win kind of thing, then fuck off.
Yep.
That's rough, man. That's rough. I mean, and the worst part about it is, Facebook, Google, Safari from Apple, I guess, it's unfortunate, but they have the monopoly on not even social media. It's more than that. It's like literally the connection of everyone and everything. I mean, like my business, it would be very difficult to run without the internet. Like I could do it without a Google page. I could do it without a Facebook page. I could do it without a LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn, I'm pretty sure, does very, very similar things with that. They make you pay if you want your shit to go anywhere. Because, like you said, it's just what tech companies are doing now to maximize their profits, which, whatever, okay, their business. That's what they're in the business for, I guess. Stealing information and selling it behind your back. But knowing that they have that foothold on social media, on, if you want anybody to know about your business, you have to go through us, essentially. And it's not like the old days, where you put an ad in a newspaper or something like that, or you buy a billboard. Now it's not even that. And now billboards are digital now, so you don't even have just your ad up there for a month. Now it's your ad flipping between 5 other ads every 10 seconds or something like that. So hit or miss, so whether or not people are going to be seeing it as they're driving by.
Right.
I wonder if there's an alternative to that. I mean, there's probably not an alternative to paying these internet companies to promote our businesses, because that's kind of what they're in the business of doing.
Right. And the way that they made it seem from the beginning was we're here to help you and your business.
Right.
And as soon as they had that monopoly and they no longer needed you, well, they're going to push you out. Now they're, think about mortgage calculators and how popular they are as a website for people doing that. Yeah. So now Google made their own mortgage calculator. Let me push you out. Wow. Thanks for putting in the work to put the code together and showing us how it works. Now we want to take that traffic.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I see that. And also very similarly, ordering food online.
Yes.
It
Yes.
used to either be through the restaurant, or DoorDash and Grubhub became a thing. What was the first one? Postmate?
Remember?
It's been around for a little bit, but it got real big 2019, 2020, obviously with the pandemic and shit. It's really the only way restaurants could stay open. But now Google has a thing where you have to order off of Google, and then they charge you extra for it.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy.
Yes. And they're going to pull the data on your menu and put that into their own little thing.
Right.
Forcing you to don't go to the restaurant website.
Yeah.
Stay within Google.
100%.
That's where we want to keep you.
Yep.
Order through us. And
Here's the menu for the restaurant. Order through us. Here's your receipt. Here's the tracker on your delivery kind of thing. Or we'll email you when it's done. And it is all through Google. And then they probably charge the restaurants a premium just to be like, well, if you want your restaurant to show up on Google, here. I mean, it's like Yelp all over again, essentially.
We're going to hold you hostage until you pay us.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. It's what it's becoming, which is unfortunate.
It seems counterproductive to discuss that on a topic of PPC advertising, like, hey, let's pay Google to put our placement out there. It can still be beneficial. It still works.
Oh, absolutely.
But we can just discuss the reality of where it started and where it's going.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, do we want to be feeding these beasts, or do they need us more than we need them?
Right.
Sort of thing. I like to compare that to Facebook now. Facebook is, despite the data changes with privacy, I think a lot of it is businesses no longer willing to pay Facebook for advertising, for the placement. I think that's what's happening nowadays. If we stop feeding the beast, we're not going to need them anymore.
Right.
And if we start to recognize how counterproductive it is to only have 3 to 5 mega companies that control everything, well, we no longer have freedom of choice. They are going to hold all the cards at the end of the day.
Right. It's the illusion of choice, like everything else.
Exactly.
5 companies own a million different products, and you think you're buying from this place, but really they're just owned by the bigger company, which is pretty much everything nowadays. So, I mean, certainly pay-per-click ads, using Google and Facebook to promote your business, to promote your services, your products, it can and is profitable to a lot of people. But it is also important to know where your money's going and kind of how it works a little bit, so that you don't just have this image in your head that, all right, well, I'm going to give you $300 and I expect my return immediately.
Right.
Because that's just not how it works.
Right. It's not a, if you build it, they will come sort of thing. There has to be some thought, some planning, some strategy behind what you're offering.
Right. That's kind of how it's marketed too. If you build it, they will come. That's kind of how it's marketed. Facebook kind of does it like, hey, sponsor this post and you'll reach 10,000 people.
Right.
Like, really? Oh my God. Okay, cool.
Right.
Let me throw $100 at you. And then you realize, no, it wasn't 10,000. You didn't pay us enough. It was 3,000. And maybe we'll tell you it's 3,000. It might have only been 200, you know? There's no way to track that. Oh, it's rough. It's rough.
It's tough. However, like we discussed before, using PPC can help you dominate the digital advertising market. It can put you ahead of your competition while you're waiting for your SEO results to kind of build up, while you're waiting for all of your referrals to start coming through.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great way to get in front of people, to match search intent.
Sure.
Where you may not have been found by any other means.
Right. So it's more of a better way to introduce yourself.
Right.
Maybe, or introduce your product or your brand. And then from there, that's where you have to do the work yourself. Then you have to produce something that people are going to want to come and buy.
Correct.
Yeah.
You gotta establish that trust. Go through the benefits. What can I expect? Easy next steps. Easy conversion.
Yeah. Which Google and Facebook promise, but you got to be careful with it. All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening today. I hope you learned a little bit of something. Let us know. If there's something else specific you'd like us to discuss, definitely don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. Other than that, thanks so much.